Hello, my friends. I'm Bee, and this is Bee's Intuition. Today, we're going to do a reading about what kind of incoming manifestations do you have going on? Manifestation or manifestations plural. We'll see what comes out. Yeah, let's just roll with it. And let's dive right in, shall we? Please and thank you, Spirit. What manifestations are coming in for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. What kind of manifestations are coming in for the collective? Please and thank you. Please and thank you very much, Spirit. Very, very much. Well, a whole bunch just fell on the floor. We'll see what those are. Okay. Okay, well. What did these fall? You know what? I'll take them up. I would take them up right. Upright. Oh my gosh, I saw a TikTok about somebody doing a Christopher Walken impression, but like doing Harry Potter lines. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anywho. Okay. Alrighty. So what we have: 8 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, the Tower card, and the Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have 5 of Wands. All right, let's just start clarifying, shall we? Starting with the 8 of Cups. Please and thank you, Spirit. What kind of manifestations are going on for the collective? What's coming in for the collective with that 8 of Cups? Please and thank you, Spirit. Oh my goodness. This is a big one, apparently. Okay, where did they flip over? Okay, we got that. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Okay. So, clarifying the 8 of Cups, we have the 3 of Cups, Page of Swords, the Death card, the Hermit, and the 5 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is 2 of Swords. Alrighty. So, 8 of Cups, that's usually leaving something behind that is not fulfilling you. Could have been a friendship, but honestly, I feel like that 3 of Cups is like more positive than leaving behind a friendship. It almost feels like maybe it was your love life, something that you walked away from in your romantic life, and you started to embrace friendships, community, other things that make you feel good and loved. Page of Swords. Usually I take the Page of Swords as a very curious sort of character with a thirst for knowledge. So maybe it was like you wanted to see what else was out there. So you left something behind that was not fulfilling for you. And you went towards the things that do make you happy. And that Page of Swords could have been like that feeling inside of you that was like, there's got to be more, there's got to be something better out there. The Death card. So this could have been like a major transformation for you. And this could have been like a really huge step in that direction of transformation. Because this could have This could have been out of your comfort zone, walking away from something here. But it was like necessary. And either you were transforming before you did this, or doing this kind of opened like this portal of transformation in which you were able to transform because of the actions that you have taken. And it feels like this is all in alignment with your higher self. Like you know what is best for you. The Hermit, that's like knowledge of yourself, knowledge within, finding that knowledge. Wisdom. Finding like what you want out of life. Like what would fulfill you the best? What would fulfill you the most? And then following that. 5 of Pentacles. You could have felt like something was not serving you. And I feel like that would definitely be what that 8 of Cups indicates, is something may have made you feel very insecure. Could have messed with your confidence. Could have made you feel like a sense of lack in your life. But you recognized this and you took actions in order to correct this, to be on a higher path. 2 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. You may have been hesitant at first when it came to taking this action to move away from something. But ultimately you followed your intuition and maybe your spiritual downloads. Because there's definitely this feeling of like, this is probably going outside of your comfort zone to an extent, but you recognize that it's necessary for your own betterment and transformation. To be honest, it almost feels like the beginning stages of manifestation, because I feel like, especially with that Hermit, discovering what you want, that's like probably one of the first things, but also clearing out the things that are not serving you out of your life to make space in your life for the things that are truly meant for you, and that will fulfill you much more. Also, there's like this energy, and I feel like that this energy with the Page of Swords specifically is like either knowing that better is out there or hoping and trusting that better is out there. You felt like limited in some way by this thing, whatever it was. It could have been a relationship, it could have been an environment, it could have been many things. But you chose your own happiness over this situation that was potentially very draining on you. And when you did that, you were taking huge steps, whether you knew this or not, in the direction of becoming more enlightened, becoming your higher self, becoming more powerful in order to be able to manifest the life that you want. I want to see what's underneath this 2 of Swords. 6 of Swords, yeah, so you may have been stuck in your head with that 2 of Swords for a period of time before you actually acted, but eventually you followed your intuition, you followed your gut, and the 6 of Swords is all about moving away from something that is not serving you and moving towards something that is more full of hope and possibility. And you saw that, you had that vision of, I got to get out of here because this is just, I'm getting the message, this will be the death of me. And I feel like that's a metaphorical, not literal thing. Hopefully not a literal thing, but you know, you saw something as being no good for your betterment, not conducive to your own betterment or your enlightenment journey or your spiritual path or your self-improvement, and so you left it in the dust. And you left it in the dust, and I think that's exactly what you were supposed to do. Definitely feels like you were making decisions so that you could set yourself up to be on your highest path in the future. And you were like, I don't care if it's difficult, because the Six of Swords, you know, it is a difficult process. But you weighed the pros and the cons of the situation. You were like, this is clearly what I have to do. And even if it is difficult, this will serve me long term much better than what I have going on currently. And I feel like there's a lot of positive energy that comes from that. And I often see the Eight of Cups as choosing yourself. And that's very positive as well. I want to see what's underneath the Six of Swords. Seven of Swords. So you could have been dealing with people that were sneaky, or situations that were sneaky in some way. Something that was not as it seemed on the surface, potentially. Or someone that was not what they seemed on the surface. And it feels like you saw that and you acted accordingly because you realize you deserve better. I feel like you closed the chapter on this, or you closed the book on this chapter of your life. I want to see what's underneath the Seven of Swords. Strength card. So, yeah, you showed strength of will. In order to take those actions, in order to act in your own favor, especially planning for the future so that you could be on your highest path rather than being held back by something. And when we do that kind of stuff, it really does show ourselves that we truly love ourselves and respect ourselves, and that we truly value ourselves. Because it's not that we're just saying that, we're actually taking the actions that are necessary to prove that to ourselves. And those actions mean more than any sort of words, you know? Actions always speak louder than words. Especially when it comes to ourselves and when we're making decisions for our betterment. Okay, let's go on to the Seven of Pentacles. Please and thank you, Spirit. What kind of manifestations are coming to the collective? Please and thank you with that Seven of Pentacles. Please and thank you. What is that? Seven of Pentacles indicating for the collective. Please and thank you. Seven of Pentacles. Manifestations for the collective. Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. What kind of manifestations are happening for the collective? Please and thank you. All right. There was one. I flipped over in there. Let's see. What that one is. Was that the only one? Yes, I think it was. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Da 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 da. Okay. Okay. So we have that Seven of Pentacles clarified by Six of Cups, Page of Cups, and then we have the Ten of Wands coming out in this direction, as well as the Three of Swords coming out in this direction. Honestly, I like that. I like that a lot. You have a very beautiful heart. I feel like that's like a message here for sure. You're very kind, giving. There's like a gentleness to you. You've had to be really patient with yourself, maybe on your journey. You've had to be patient with yourself and patient with others around you. You chose kindness over bitterness. Because I feel like you've gone through a lot, but you choose to show up in a kind energy, regardless of your past. With the 10 of Wands and the 3 of Swords coming out like this, I feel like that's a really good thing. Because it's like laying to rest the pains of the past, especially maybe in heartbreak or relationships that have really hurt you and left their mark. It's like you're laying that to rest. 10 of Wands, those situations that were burdensome, that weighed you down, held you back, you're laying that to rest as well. Like you're no longer letting these energies affect you or affect your actions, especially when it comes to dealing with other people or animals. I feel like you're also very gentle with animals. I feel like this is really beautiful though, because it's like you're showing patience here with that 7 of Pentacles. Patience with yourself, patience with others, patient with your own journey. And then bottom of the deck is the 6 of Cups. Or 6 of Swords, sorry. Again, like that's you choosing yourself and making those difficult decisions that will ultimately benefit you in the long run. I'm going to see what's underneath that 6 of Swords. The 2 of Swords. That could be what you were leaving behind, is like your indecisiveness or inability to choose what is best for you. You could have walked away from this type of indecisiveness or energy. Definitely the energy of being too afraid to go outside of your comfort zone. You did your best to walk away from that sort of energy within yourself. And I really do like that this is all clarifying the 7 of Pentacles, because I feel like you are aware that like these things on our journey, like if we're walking or if we are trying to heal ourselves and leave behind toxic mindsets or being indecisive, those can still reoccur even if we have really healed, worked on them, healed them. For the most part, they can still pop up here and there. But I feel like because it's clarifying that 7 of Pentacles, you're having patience with yourself, and you know, as the wise person that you are, that these things could still bubble up from time to time, but you're not going to let them make you feel bad or make you feel like you're not making progress or affect your actions towards yourself or others, because it's a process. That it's like it's like an ongoing process, and you're aware of this, and you're having patience with yourself, patience with your own growth, and patience for your own healing. I want to see what's underneath the 2 of Swords. The Sun card. That's nice. That's a lot of happiness. And so it's like, that on the other side of being afraid of going outside your comfort zone, like if you live in that energy of being too afraid to go outside of your comfort zone, it's like you'll never truly experience that happiness, because the happiness will come with you making those difficult decisions, going outside of your comfort zone, exploring, trying new things, moving away from those toxic energies that try to hold you back. And I also feel like a very light feeling when I look at this Sun card, and I do feel like in a lot of ways you have been alleviating the heaviness of the past off of yourself. And so I feel like your future is going to look so much brighter and going to feel very much lighter as well. because you're no longer carrying that heaviness around, those past experiences around with you. I really do feel like there's like this sense of you writing your own narrative. I feel like I'm literally seeing in my mind somebody like writing a story or a biography, autobiography maybe. And I feel like it's more in the spiritual, metaphorical spiritual sense in this context, because it's like your past created a certain narrative, but I feel like you're actively correcting that narrative and you're changing it around so that your future is something that is much more beautiful than what your past consisted of. And you're the one that's controlling the narrative. I feel like you're taking back your own power, and it feels like you're kind of in this process, like actively going through this process. And it's very beautiful. I do like that. I do like that you're showing up with that patient energy, because I feel like that's also when we embody the energy of patience. When we practice patience, we are much more likely to attract the things that we truly desire, truly want out of life, the things that will truly benefit us, because most of the things that are worth having take time to develop, to come towards us, to unravel, to reveal themselves. And so I feel like this is a very beautiful thing that you're practicing this patience with yourself, with others. I'm also getting like inner child healing. That could be a part of this as well. Because I feel like a lot of those negative narratives that came from your past probably started in childhood. And so with that awareness, you're making those corrections, you're feeding your inner child, you're treating that inner child with the love that maybe you never received. And that's going to make such a big difference in your future and what future you attract or manifest for yourself. Like, it's going to be very beautiful, and it's going to be very different than what you were used to. Wow. I really like that a lot. Okay. Let's go on to the 9 of Pentacles now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What manifestations do you have for the collective with that 9 of Pentacles? What's coming in for the collective? What kind of manifestations are coming in for the collective with that 9 of Pentacles? Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh. 9 of Pentacles. Please and thank you. Okay. Let's see what that is. Okay, so clarifying that 9 of Pentacles, we have the King of Swords coming out like that. And the 7 of Wands coming out like that. And then bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Swords. Okay, interesting. So the 9 of Pentacles is a lot about independence, stability, abundance, and you creating that for yourself. The King of Swords is a very powerful character. And I feel like because the swords do a lot with like the mental sphere, I guess. There's almost like this knowledge of your own power now. Like there's so much magic and power that come from you, and it's like you know that it's there. And maybe in the past you didn't see it, your own power, or what you're capable of. Maybe you didn't believe that you were powerful. Maybe you didn't believe that you were capable of creating great change in your life. But it's like now you do. And I feel like that's attracting you to, like being in that energy is attracting success into your life. Because there's a lot of confidence, and especially mental confidence in yourself. And I feel like the way that you gain that sort of mental confidence is by going through difficult things and making difficult decisions, which, as we saw, you are doing Because like when we face obstacles that we have to overcome, and we do overcome those, and we live to tell a tale, like every single experience like that is something that we can add into our sack of memories, like something that we can, it's almost tangible. Like when we do these things for ourselves and we make these, we act in a brave way. We actively do not let fear hold us back. We do our best to overcome the challenges that we are faced with. We can now look back on all of those past experiences that we've overcome, and we can tell ourselves, like, I got through this, this, and this, so I can really face anything. And I feel like that's the power that you're embodying now, is like you have that confidence because of lived experience. And you know what you are capable of overcoming. And it's like nothing will hold you back now because you know you're powerful. And it's almost like the knowing is probably the most important part of that, right? Because yeah, you can be a powerful person, but if you don't know that you're powerful, how are you going to harness that energy and, use it with precision to manifest certain things or to create change, and the change that benefits you and stuff? Like, I feel like knowing it is very, very important. And I feel like that's the energy that you're either embodying now or you're going to be embodying. And it's attracting success for you. And this person has a very fierce looking face. He looks kind of grumpy, but honestly, it's not even hitting me as like grumpy. It's more like you are just determined, like anything that comes my way, I know for a fact that I can handle it and that I can get through it, that I can succeed despite the obstacles that pop up. Because I have done it before and I'll do it again. Like, it's very like determined fierceness. Yeah. And it's so funny that I'm getting all of those downloads from the King of Swords, and the other card that came out like this is the Seven of Wands, which is, all about the victory that comes when we know that we're going to be successful. And yeah, I'm really admiring the way that your mindsets have shifted, because I feel like this is the type of frequency that you need to be in order to manifest the things that you truly want out of life. You need to embody that confidence. And that self-assuredness. And it all starts from within. And in this image, it almost looks like he's like being blessed with energy from the gods, or, from spirit, to embolden him and to make him feel that power and that confidence. And so he can overcome challenges and obstacles and battles. Even when the odds are stacked against him, he can still overcome. He can still win. Because he has that inner confidence, that inner knowledge, that inner self-assuredness. And then it feels like he's kind of like standing in triumph, And so it's like when you're aware that you can overcome anything, and you have that knowledge that you have overcome things, you will overcome things, that you are powerful, that you are capable. It really is like opening so many locked doors for you. Like doors that were once locked are now opening up for you because of you being in this type of mindset. I'm sure it has not been an easy road to get to this point either. But you are. You're getting there. Or you are there. That's very beautiful. I really love this energy. There's so much confidence that's coming with this. And then this is clarifying the Nine of Pentacles, which I said earlier is about independence. And I feel like you know that whatever you manifest is thanks to yourself, because you believed in yourself. You had that self-assuredness. You had that confidence in yourself, like I can and I will. And when it comes time to like reap those rewards and feel the happiness of being in that abundance, you'll know that it's all thanks to you. And I feel like that will even help you feel more confident and feed into that as well. Because it's almost like that Nine of Pentacles will be the physical form and maybe the physical validation of what you already knew within yourself, that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are capable of anything that you set your mind to. It's almost like you don't even need that physical validation, but I think it's coming regardless. It's just like a very confident, very powerful energy that I'm getting with that. It's very beautiful. I like that a lot. The Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this sense of taking back your power, realizing that you do have that power and the capability to control things. I'm getting like, to me, this sword is almost feeling almost like a pen. And yeah, so like I was getting that image earlier of somebody like writing a book. But it's like, again, you're like, you are creating your own narrative for yourself that is way more true to who you are and what you've seen. And it's also, you could be actually somebody that, what is it called? Future scripting, I want to say, maybe. Like, it feels very much like you are manifesting potentially, or somebody out there may be manifesting through like writing down your goals, writing down what you wish to achieve or what you plan on achieving. And like, it could literally, the image of writing could be literal for somebody out there, that somebody's like, you know, writing down like their goals for this year, for instance. And that could even add to the success of your manifestations. Because again, and especially if you word it in the way of like, I will, instead of I want, or I desire, or whatever. Like, it's like, I will achieve this thing. I will overcome this thing, you know? I feel like that also just adds to that confidence, adds to that, because again, I feel like there's something about you realizing this is what you deserve. And I feel like that's what the universe really responds well to, is like somebody that is aware of their own worthiness and value, and that they deserve the manifestations that are coming to them. And that they're not afraid to receive those as well, even if they are different than what they've experienced in the past. Just that knowledge of like, this is what I deserve and this is what I will achieve. Like, it's such a powerful energy that just keeps coming through for you. Ooh. And also there's like this enlightenment too with that Ace of Swords. So spirit could be inspiring you, your intuition could be driving you forward in all of this. I also feel like this like dreaminess, but it's almost like a dreaminess that you are putting into reality. So like all of your wildest dreams can come true when you're able to believe that they are possible and do the steps that it will require in order to bring those dreams down to earth into the 3D. Yeah, I do believe that daydreaming can be a form of manifestation. Um, of course, we would still have to do those like physical 3D, take those like steps, follow the, necessary, the necessary 3D steps in order to achieve that in reality. But it does start with a dream, right? It always starts with a dream, and then we bring that dream into the 3D. You could be somebody that's well known for being kind of daydreamy or dreamy, like, head in the clouds sort of person. And you may surprise people by achieving those manifestations and actually manifesting the things that you want. Because I almost feel like this sense of like some people may underestimate you. And these are the people that probably did try to create those false narratives of you in the past, that you were not capable. But I feel like they're going to be very surprised when you are truly manifesting what you want out of life. And I feel like you're going to leave people shocked, surprised. And I feel like you're going to have people asking you, how did you do that? Because it's so rare to see that actually happen. I want to see what's underneath the Ace of Swords. 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords can definitely deal with like anxiety and overthinking, being caught up in your head a lot. But to be honest, with this context, I'm almost getting like not that sort of energy. I'm almost getting like, yeah, you're in your head a lot, and yeah, you may be thinking a lot, but I don't think that it's a negative overthinking, or not even overthinking, just thinking a lot. And I feel like it's about your plans for the future. Like I honestly, and there's almost like a giddiness and excitement that you may get when you're thinking about the things that you wish to manifest. Oh, maybe it's like you're doing that, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's pretty much like you're like feeling those things as if you already have them. And that's a whole nother like manifestation technique as well, is when you think about that future and you like sit in maybe a meditative sort of energy, or like meditative energy, and you're picturing what that would be like, and you're feeling it in your body, what that would feel like. And because I almost get like this almost like obsessive thinking about these manifestations, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm getting that it's probably going to help you to achieve them, especially if you like process them in a positive way, and you associate those goals, dreams with something that's actually achievable, and you believe in that, and you picture what it would be like. Like I feel like this sense of like, you could be somebody that like stays up at night daydreaming about your future, and you could even get giddy at night, or like maybe more motivated at night, where you're like, okay, I want to start on this task because then I can prepare for this next thing, or the next step of my journey, or the next step to accomplishing this thing. I almost feel like this sense of motivation at night, and it's coming from your mind. I feel like I'm definitely tapping into somebody that has a very overactive mind, which of course like is like a double-edged sword, because if you have an overactive mind, it can be very overwhelming, and there can be times where, it's negative thoughts that are just going around and around. But I feel like you're taking those aspects of yourself, the overthinking parts, and you're like sort of changing them, twisting them into being more positive. And you're like, how can I use this ability I have to think a million miles a minute? How can I take that and make it positive or make it work for me? Like, this is such an amazing energy, because it feels like you are taking things that may have at one point been seen as a weakness or a deficiency in some way, according to societal standards and whatnot. But you are taking those things and you're like, no, I'm going to figure out a way to make this work for me. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. And again, that's like why you're attracting this success. So interesting. I usually don't get that big of a positive message from the Nine of Swords, but that's the energy I'm feeling. It's like almost like this, like the way that this figure looks in the pictures, like she's like wide awake, and I feel like at night, like the juices could be flowing like crazy, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have this idea and this idea and this idea. And so maybe that's when you do your best brainstorming, or when you do your best, like, that could be like the best time for you to like organize out the steps that you need to take, or to write out your manifestations, to do that future scripting. Yeah, it feels like you could be very like motivated at night, or like nighttime is when you are the most productive in the direction of what you want to achieve. So even just using that, maybe setting up your schedule in a way so that you can take advantage of that nighttime burst of energy or that nighttime overthinking, instead of letting it be a negative experience, using it as a positive thing, like as a stepping stone for yourself to go along your path so that you get closer and closer to your goals. It's very beautiful. I really like that energy a lot. I want to see what's underneath the Nine of Swords. The Star. Yeah. Because like, I'm so glad that that's underneath, because I feel like that kind of proves my point to an extent. Like, that this Nine of Swords is not a negative thing. You are figuring out how to, like, it's almost like, we talk about the magician and how the magician is manipulating energy in order to manifest things. And I feel like you are manipulating your own energy and your own individual brain wiring, and the way that you work, the way that you function. And you're like, I'm not going to let this hold me back. I'm not going to let this be a weakness. I'm going to let this be a strength. And I'm going to use it for my own benefit. And the power that just comes from being able to do that is just beyond this world. Like, it's literally out of this world. The type of energy that you have within you, the capabilities that you have, the way in which you work, the way in which you think, the ways in which you create are just so incredibly powerful. Also, you're like really meant for something really big in life, and maybe you feel that to a certain extent. And like, spirit is with you. And I feel like there's this sense of like spirit being very happy for you as well. And it's almost like the power that comes from you recognizing that you have that power in the first place. Like, literally, it's like it's off the charts. And the Star card can also be a card about manifestation. And I feel like in a lot of ways, you're like bringing that energy from the divine down to earth. your dreams down to earth. You're grounding them in reality. And that is something that is just so incredibly rare. And again, people may not understand it. People, when you actually when you actually reach the results of what you've been planning for yourself, I do feel like people are going to be surprised, because a lot of this stuff goes on behind the scenes inside of our minds. And especially the first steps of manifestation. So it's like people don't typically see that part of it. And they will typically only validate the physical abundance that comes from it, or like the physical forms of validation that come from manifestation. And they think that it's like magic. And in a lot of ways it is, but they think of it as like the kind of magic that is just based around luck. And like, oh, this thing just happened to fall into your lap. And it's like, no, you have set yourself up for your own success. And people may not understand that, but it's like when you finally get that 3D validation, people are going to want to know how. How did you do that? And the thing is, manifestation is so... there's not really just one way to do it, because everybody is so different. Every human has their own brain chemistry. The ways in which their brain is wired is completely different from person to person. So it's like one person's way of manifesting will not necessarily be useful for another person. Sometimes it can be, but not always. And it's really about finding what works best for you as an individual and going with what feels right for you. Ooh, these messages are just like incredibly intense, but so beautiful. I really love them. Yeah. You're just going to be creating some crazy stuff, some really beautiful stuff in your life. Ooh. I'm getting the quote, "Don't believe me, just watch." And I feel like that really sums it up in a lot of ways. Okay, let's go into the Tower card. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have for the collective? What kind of manifestations are happening with that Tower card? Please and thank you for the collective. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you got? What do you got for the Tower card there? Okay. Let's see. What do we got? This might be a lot, but let's see. Yeah, this seems like a bit much, but we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with that, I think. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's oh, it's okay. It's telling us a story. All right. So clarifying that Tower card, we have the Knight of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Eight of Cups, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Four of Cups, and Temperance. And then the bottom of the deck, we have Two of Swords. I'm getting with that Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady wins the race. And I feel like this kind of takes me back to that Seven of Pentacles we were looking at earlier. And that was like really strongly coming through as patience. And again, like there's like this sense of patience that you have on your journey, on your path. And I feel like that's so important. And I feel like it's key. to manifesting things that are truly beautiful and what you really want. Beautiful. And then the Four of Wands, that can definitely be a card of like personal celebration, achievement, like achieving some sort of personal goal and like celebrating it. Could also do with like a union between two people, but not necessarily. Sometimes I like to see it as like a personal milestone that's being accomplished, and then you're like celebrating with your loved ones. Also, you know, the leaves on the wands tells me a lot about like personal growth, a lot of personal growth that you are achieving within yourself and within your life. And this is all clarifying the Tower card. I feel like you truly are, like, now I'm getting the image of somebody taking a pencil and the eraser end. They're like erasing the writing. And that writing was like the past narrative that people tried to project onto you and kind of force you to accept about yourself. And I feel like you are no longer living according to anyone else's anything, their own narratives that they want to project onto you, their own insecurities. You're not letting any of that affect you, and you're actively destroying that, but in a powerful, like empowered way, not in a negative way at all. Like, I feel like you are sort of embodying that Tower card when it comes to your past and those past narratives that once were holding you back and making you feel restricted and constricted in your own life, feeling limited. And you're just like, no, I have the power. I choose to destroy that, because whatever I'm building is going to be so much stronger and so much more true to who I am and what I am truly capable of here. Yeah, so I really do think that you are very powerful, and the knowledge of your own power is allowing you to really change things and change those narratives around. The Eight of Cups, so we saw that earlier. You choosing yourself, you walking away from the things that don't serve you. That is really one of the first major steps in manifesting, because you are actively removing those old, stagnant, negative energies and allowing the space for new, positive experiences and things that are truly meant for you. So I do feel like there is this big sense of getting your power back. And I don't think you ever truly lost it, but it's like the consciousness that I have this power and I'm going to use it. And I'm going to use it for my life, to create the life that I want. Not the life that other people have made me think I need to do or have. And then that Page of Wands, that's a card of like a lot of optimism, passion. Like it kind of gives me that like youthful and energetic energy. Like a kid that is like running around a playground. Sometimes you see a kid running down the street and you're just like, wow, I wish I had that kind of energy. But not anymore. That's the kind of energy that I feel like you're coming into, though. It's like you are finding a burst of energy. And it's probably due to your motivation and inspiration of like the things that you want to achieve and bring into the 3D. Because it's like that passion drives you. And there's like also maybe a determination as well that comes along with that. Like, I will achieve these things. But yeah, there is like a lot of determinedness with that Page of Wands. I also get like this energy from the Page of Wands. It reminds me a lot, like this image especially, reminds me a lot of the ghost from A Christmas Carol, the first one that shows up, the Christmas past ghost, because like they're supposed to be youthful and like they glow. I want to say like in the actual like book itself, that ghost is supposed to be like very youthful, like fiery or bright or something, and it very much reminds me of that. This image does. And so there's a, but it's almost giving me like the opposite. Instead of looking back, it's like foresight. Like you can see your future ahead of you, and you see what your future is going to look like. I don't know, there's like some sort of magic or power with that, of like seeing your own future. Then the Queen of Wands has a very confident energy, charismatic energy, fiery, of course. I do feel a lot of confidence coming from that Queen of Swords, or Queen of Wands. I don't know why I said Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is also a very powerful energy and very confident as well, to be honest. But yeah, there's like this, the way that she holds herself, the way that she kind of closes her eyes, looks away, maybe even looks down to an extent. Like, there's no telling this Queen of Wands anything about herself, because she knows everything about herself. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much confidence that oozes from her energy here. And it's like nobody can tell her anything. Nobody can control her narrative, because she knows who she is. She knows what she is capable of, and she knows what she's going to achieve and create for herself. And I feel like creation and fire, like fire signs, I feel like there's something there about like creation and fire. Like what, like there's like this spark to create or something. And there's just like that knowledge of creation and knowing that you're powerful enough to create anything that you want for yourself. And she's sitting on her throne. She looks so comfortable on her throne, like she has been there for a while. And so it really does feel like there's like this inner confidence, this inner knowledge of your own power. And you're like, you know, you're deserving of this place of power, being in this position of power. And you also know how to use that position of power. It kind of reminds me of like the Emperor, where it's like he's known for being a very powerful person, but he never takes advantage of that power that he has. And he's so well respected because he is firm but fair, you know? And he never abuses that power, unless he's the Emperor in the reverse, you know, the shadow aspects. But I feel like that comes through with your energy here, is like, you know, you're deserving of being in this place of power, this position of power, and you know how to use it, and you know that you're never gonna abuse that power. And it's almost like that's why this power is or has been given to you, because you know how to use it and you want to abuse it. Ace of Pentacles. Again, I'm getting this message about like foresight. You have the foresight to see what you're creating before it's even created, before it even gets here. There's this knowledge that it only starts with a seed. And that's like the beginning of everything. It's like the beginning of life. It's the beginning, like, especially with this tower that we're clarifying. It's like you break down this tree, and then it's like when that tree has fallen, you're able to plant a new seed to grow into that big tree or to a stronger tree. It's like a continuation of life, a continuation of the natural cycles of life. And I feel like you know how to master that as well, the natural rhythm of the universe, the natural rhythm of life in the world. And it's like, because you know that even something that looks so small and inconspicuous can grow into something truly great and strong and long lasting. And again, that's like also kind of bringing me back to that Seven of Pentacles we saw earlier about that like message of patience. You have that patience. You have that ability to see that it's not just a seed. That seed is going to become everything you want it to be. And again, it kind of, we had the Seven of Wands earlier as well, and that message about knowing that you're going to be successful. And then success will follow. I'm also getting that with that Ace of Pentacles as well. Two of Wands. That is like a lot of plan making. You're probably really good at thinking through the logistical steps and phases and like the things that you actually need to do in order to bring these manifestations into the 3D. You have a very, I'm not sure, like an organized mind, or you have a way in your mind where you're able to maybe organize these thoughts, when you're able to sit down and really listen to those thoughts and stuff. You have a way of bringing it into the reality in a way that is organized and easy to follow for yourself, of course. And you know that these things take planning. There's also a message with the Two of Wands about like, sometimes I get the message of like, there's got to be more. And I typically take that as like, there's got to be more to life than this. And that's like a feeling of discontentment in one's life. But that's the type of discontentment that leads to great change. Yeah, it's like the discontentment that brings about great change, because it's like the desire for more and the knowledge that there is more out there, which I believe I was getting that kind of message earlier with the Page of Swords. Like the knowledge that there is more, that more is possible, and setting your mind to that. And not just accepting what has been given to you, but truly determining, is this what I truly want, or do I desire something more? And how do I go about that? Creating something more for myself. And you have a way of doing that within your mind. And you have a way of like bringing these things down into reality, especially through plan making. And taking the time to write out those plans or write out those manifestations. To break these goals down into steps, baby steps even sometimes. You know, sometimes, yeah, they need to be broken down into baby steps in order for us to even get started in the first place. And you have that awareness, that knowledge within you to do just that. Then we have the Four of Cups here. And that's really a card about being selective, especially with your energy. Especially your emotional energy. We can usually associate it with like the selectiveness in terms of like romantic love and stuff. But, and yeah, maybe to an extent that is part of what you have been doing. But I feel like that spills over into so much more when we are selective with our energy, when we hold standards for ourselves and for the people that are coming into our lives or would like to come into our lives, having those standards, having that ability to be selective, and also unapologetic about that, being selective, about having those standards. Because again, there's like this need almost for you to know like you deserve more, and so you simply just will not accept anything less. And that is very aligned to manifestation. And also I really do love this image where it's like the person is facing this tree, and then to me it kind of touches me as like you focusing on the things that truly matter to you and the things that will truly bring you that peace, that sense of being grounded, that sense of belonging even. Like what is truly important to you, and not accepting anything less or anything that does not align to that. I also feel like to an extent it's almost like you plant this seed and you're watching that seed grow into a huge tree that you can admire. And you can also admire it as like, I created that. I planted that seed and now it is becoming this beautiful tree that is big and strong and long lasting and so full of life and growth. And then it creates a great sense of calmness for you and serenity and a feeling of contentment. And then we have the Temperance card, which is all about healing. You are healing from those past wounds, those past narratives that people tried to project onto you. Also, the wings are really standing out to me, and I almost feel like you're like flying so much higher above all of that lower vibrational energy from your past. Those thoughts of doubt, Also, it's like when you realize the power that you have and the knowledge that you know how to use it, it's like you are free to fly at that point and truly take off and truly experience that sense of freedom like you've never experienced before. Also could be a lot of emotional healing as well, which I feel like is probably very important in this journey. Yeah, because of those past pains. There's also like that intuition that you're following, and maybe spiritual downloads as well. That could be a part of that as well. And then that Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Of course, we're getting that like overcoming that inability to make decisions. I want to see what's underneath that Two of Swords. Six of Swords. And the Two of Swords can also be like two paths being open to you and not being sure which path to go down. But I feel like you have made that decision and you chose the path that's like less followed, and the path that probably is more difficult but has a better payoff, and it's much more rewarding than the easier path or the path that is more comfortable. Because a lot of the time when we are comfortable with something, it's not because it's good for us, but rather it's familiar, and we grow comfortable with the uncomfortable because it is familiar. Humans are typically creatures of habit who crave the same instead of something new, because the new is seen as scary, unknown, and dangerous to an extent. But I feel like you actively chose not to be in that frame of mind and choose that path that is less followed and maybe more difficult at first. But the more you take those kinds of chances, the more you go with that ability to make those kinds of decisions, it gets much easier the further you go along. I'm going to see what's underneath that Six of Swords. Seven of Swords again. No longer are you listening to people that try to mislead you or have tried to mislead you. Also, that could be because there's also, there are people that intentionally try to mislead people, but there's also like another part of people that is unintentionally misleading you. And a lot of that is because they have their own fears, their own personal experiences. And they typically project that onto somebody rather than doing that internal work to figure out where that comes from and why that happens and why they feel the need to project that onto somebody. But I feel like this sense of like you not accepting that anymore, because you're following your own internal compass now, and so there's nothing that anybody else can say to you to change what you believe and what you are doing. I'm going to see what's underneath the Seven of Swords. The Sun card. Yeah, you're going down a path that is going to be making you so much more happier. And it's going to be so much happier because you aren't letting these people control your narrative or control your choices or actions. and you are making those difficult decisions that will ultimately lead you to your happiness, and probably the greatest amount of happiness that you can experience. Okay, let's go on to the Knight of Wands. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have the Knight of Wands for the collective? What are they manifesting? Please and thank you with that Knight of Wands. Please and thank you. What do they got? What do they got? Okay, let's see. Okay. Mamma mia. Okay. Clarifying that Knight of Wands, we have Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, so double confirmation for Knight of Wands in the same section, so that's really cool. Okay, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, and bottom of the deck, King of Cups. So a lot of cup action, I like that. But also a good amount of wand action too. This could be speaking about some sort of romance on the horizon for you. Not necessarily. Could be a lot of like ambition and passion that is driving you in a certain direction. A lot of inspiration, motivation, like energy and movement. Page of Pentacles, indicating somebody that is interested in growing something here. Curious about this, beginning to grow something, typically with another person. So this could be somebody that would like to grow with you. Maybe they're seeing your own progress and they're like, wow, that seems really cool. I wonder if they would want to collaborate or create something together. Two of Pentacles, there's like that balance that either is desired or is taking place. I feel like this image is much more confident. So it's almost, I'm more likely, or I'm more inclined to say that this is balance that has been achieved or is being achieved. Because on the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck depiction of the Two of Pentacles, the guy's kind of like more unsteady and like juggling, and I think that's kind of what is going on in this image, but it looks like he's much more in control than the traditional image. Like there's more confidence and control in that image to me. Then the Knight of Wands. There's like that fieriness, passion, ambition, forward movement, potentially desire, could be attraction, somebody that is attracted towards you. And then that Knight of Cups could also be that forward movement in action, but in the sense of like romantic goals in mind. So this could be somebody that wants to build with you. Oh, I'm almost seeing that Two of Pentacles now as like they would like that equal give and take. Like they want to give as much as you give, especially when it comes to building something together. Like go in half and half. Like to me, I'm almost even getting in my mind's eye like the Ten of Pentacles with another Ten of Pentacles, you know, like I'm abundant, you're abundant, let's just combine it and then we're gonna have like all of the abundance. But yeah, so like this person seems like they're very interested in coming together to build abundance together. And they could be coming towards you at some point. And actually probably some point relatively soon, because Knight of Wands is one of the faster moving knights and we have it twice here. Not to mention there's like that fieriness, that passion, that motivation, and that energy that's like bubbling up. And then that emotion, somebody that has those feelings that they would like to express. Sharing their cup of emotions, of love with you. Queen of Cups, very loving energy. And this could either be your energy or this person's energy. And it's interesting that the Queen of Cups is there because we have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and that's like a divine match. Very truly loving match. Especially because we have the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So if this is a connection, that would be a very loving connection. Something that has those feelings to really back everything up. I'm more inclined to say that this Queen of Cups could be your energy, because there's like this confidence and not reservedness necessarily, but just like the confidence that you know that something will come to you when it is meant to. And the King of Cups, because of the masculine energy, I'm more inclined to say that that is somebody coming towards you because they're putting in that action there. And this is regardless of any gender, just the energies that are coming through. So I'm more inclined to say that this is the other person, the King of Cups. Because you're kind of maybe even minding your own business, filling your own cup with your own self-love and your own stuff that you have going on, your own abundance and stuff. And so you may not even be noticing this other person. And then they suddenly make themselves known, and it could catch you off guard to a certain extent. I want to see what's underneath the King of Cups. Judgment. I sometimes take the Judgment card as like somebody kind of making an announcement or making something really well known. Because like the trumpet that the angel holds, typically like it's like something coming across loud and clear. Like there's no room for confusion. So this person could be sort of declaring themselves as being very interested in you and very curious about exploring something here with you. This does not feel like somebody that would hide their feelings at all. They feel like they would be loud and proud about those feelings. And, you know, there's the Judgment, like the part of the Judgment card, which is like moving into the next phase of something. And so maybe it starts out at a certain level where maybe the two of you are more friends. And then it eventually is like, let's take this to the next level. Let's become more serious. Or maybe there's like light dating at first, but then there's like, I would like to, you know, level up this connection, move into a more serious connection. It feels like it's very much like somebody that wants to go through the steps of building something. I definitely don't feel like this person would rush you into any sort of major commitment right off the bat. This feels more so like, let's start taking those steps towards something serious. Because I think that this is somebody that sees something long-term with you. And although they have these desires, they are very attracted to you, they do have all these feelings, I feel like this is somebody that is very sensible and would like to be mature about how they go about this, taking it slowly one step at a time rather than all at once. And I think that's very healthy and probably a very good way of going about it. I want to see what's underneath the Judgment card. 10 of Swords, very painful ending. So either you or this person may have recently gone through a very painful ending. maybe in love, or I'm getting like relationships, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be romantic relationships. Could be familial relationships or any sort of interpersonal relationships that this person or you have had. Like pretty much the past has not been kind to somebody here. But the sun is rising again in the background of this image to indicate that that painful ending is over and a new dawn rises, a new beginning is possible. And it's like on the horizon, it's ready to begin something much better than what took place in the past. I want to see what's underneath that Ten of Swords. The Chariot. That is forward motion. So yeah, I'm very inclined to say that this King of Cups is the person that is coming towards you, because they are in their action mode here. Yeah, they're coming forward with determination and swift movement. So maybe this is you. Maybe you have gone through a lot of rough stuff and they would like to help you heal from those past pains. Help you to see that better is out there. Help you to experience what true love should feel like. And there's like a lot of determination that this person is embodying. Like they are very fixed on the idea of coming towards you and expressing themselves to you. And I feel like that it feels positive, it feels good, and it feels like this would be somebody that you're compatible with. And I feel like they may very much impress you with the energy that they're showing up in. All right. So let's see about this. We got that Five of Wands here, and that could indicate conflict within yourself or with others. But also could be competitiveness, like competition. So maybe people are being competitive for your attention, or maybe I'm almost even getting this message about like maybe somebody in the distance, like somebody that's not really like in your energy crazily, but like maybe observing you along your journey. They could be like quietly competing with you in a weird way, and you may not even be aware of their existence or the fact that they're competitive with you. That's such a strange message I'm getting, but like that could definitely be a thing here where it's like somebody may even like slightly take it personally if you're manifesting things. Like, oh, they think that they're so great, like watch me, I'll manifest something even better. Like it feels odd. And it also feels like that's not, well, in my opinion, I feel like that's not the proper mindset to have when it comes to manifesting things. Because you're supposed to be manifesting things for yourself, right? Your own happiness, your own fulfillment, and not to impress other people or to prove that you're better than somebody. Interesting energy. I want to see what's underneath that Five of Wands. Temperance. We had the Temperance card earlier, so that's a lot of healing. Maybe this person will eventually start their own healing journey when they realize like, okay, I'm kind of being silly, being competitive with this person that may not even know that I'm competitive with them. You could also inspire this person to start their healing journey, because maybe you even start to share about how you, like how this manifestation journey started was you working on yourself and healing yourself and doing that internal work. You could inspire other people to do that too. I want to see what's underneath the Temperance. The Lovers. Oh, that's so beautiful. So the Lovers could definitely be indicating a divine match, which, you know, could definitely be this King of Cups here, regardless of gender. Somebody that is like a divine match for you. But also like the Lovers deals a lot with choices. And I feel like this is a very reassuring message to assure you that you are making the correct choices. You're making those enlightened decisions, and yeah, those probably more difficult decisions too, because like when we're making those decisions that are on our enlightened path or are going to be leading us down to our most enlightened future self, they're not always easy, like I was saying earlier. And so I feel like that's definitely spirit coming in to say that they're proud of you for making those difficult decisions. Because not everybody will make those kinds of decisions for themselves, because if they're difficult or uncomfortable, they're more inclined to just not do them or not to make those decisions or to avoid them. But you're not avoiding them. You're making those decisions, and I feel like you're going to reach your payoff for that. Okay, let's break up the oracle and see if there's any other additional messages. Any other messages about what the collective is manifesting? Please and thank you, Spirit. Any other messages about the manifestations? Okay. Let's see. We have the Observe card, and I'm pretty sure that's the Hanged Man. We have Find Balance. And then bottom of the deck, we have Move, which I'm pretty sure is the Chariot, which we had earlier, or we saw earlier. Very nice. So, the Observe, the Hanged Man. That's like all about, being in a tricky situation, but, a situation that you don't want to be in, but you're gaining knowledge from that situation, and you're using that knowledge, and it helps you to see things from a different perspective, a more enlightened perspective. And you're like using that knowledge, you're using that different perspective in order to progress in some way. And I feel like that's really what you have been doing. You've been progressing in a lot of beautiful ways. And it's because you had that willingness and ability to see things from a different perspective and gain that knowledge, gain that wisdom through experiences. Yeah, there's like so much enlightenment that comes from this. Feels like Spirit is, again, like reassuring you that you're making the right sort of decisions because you have that enlightened perspective. Find balance. Interesting that we have that find balance and we have that Two of Pentacles earlier. I feel like could be like balancing relationships with others, or obviously it could just be like balance in general, balancing your own life, balancing out like a work life cycle. Work-life balance is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm actually getting a message with that because it feels like you're so focused on your own growth and your journey here, I'm almost getting the message that like make sure you're still like having time for other things in your life. Like, I feel like Spirit wants you to still be able to have fun along your journey and not to just have to be on your grind 24/7. Like, still take time to rest, still take time to like interact with like people that you enjoy being around, still be social, keep your heart open to if there's gonna be somebody that comes along that's a really good match for you. Like, be sure that you're keeping your heart open, that you're keeping your mind open, and that you're allowing yourself some time to like take breaks, to rest, to take care of yourself along this journey. And I feel like the more balance you find yourself, balancing out all of those different aspects of your life and not just solely focusing on your manifestations, I feel like those manifestations are more likely to come in when you have that overall balanced sort of energy and outlook. And it feels like as long as you're trying your best to be balanced and find that balance, You're going to be very successful and attract a lot of good things into your life as a result of that. Very beautiful. And then that move card, Chariot card. I'm getting like this energy of like moving with purpose. And I feel like that's exactly what you have been doing, is moving with purpose. I feel like Spirit is very proud of you for the actions that you have been taking, the forward movement that you have been pursuing. Also, it's very interesting that this heart above the hands here, it's almost like you're so close to reaching something that you've been desiring for quite some time. And so this could also be a reminder to not give up. Even if you feel like you're a million miles away from your goals, you may be closer to it than you may think. I also feel like this sash, that is, I think, supposed to indicate like union between two figures here. To me, that almost feels like a sense of commitment you have to yourself. The way it's coming through is like you have made this promise to yourself, this commitment to yourself. And because you have done that, it's like you are maybe even determined not to let yourself down. And I also am getting something about like the payoff will be worth it. Not to mention that could also be indicating, coming into union with somebody and feeling connected to them or becoming connected to them. That could also be another message, a side message with that as well. But I feel like more than anything, it's like trying to reassure you that your actions are not in vain. Your efforts are not in vain, and you're much closer to achieving those manifestations that you desire than you realize. Okay, so that is the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that it resonated. If it did resonate, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.